Good afternoon. It's a wild afternoon in most parts of Sydney. A storm is lashing parts of the city and has been for the last few hours. 75,000 lightning strikes hit a 100-kilometre radius of the city, including the Botanic Gardens, where 4 people were struck and are now in hospital. We'll have more on that story in a moment. Lightning has also struck the main runway at Sydney Airport, causing a massive hole to form. This is causing flight delays. There's an average of at least an hour on all departing and incoming flights. Interstate planes are grounded, unable to take off for Sydney until flights here are cleared. Now, 27 millimetres of rain has fallen at the airport so far today. That's matched only by 28 mils at Gosford, 25 at Badgerys Creek and 24 at Horsley Park. Well, these pictures are from Penrith, where it's slow going on most of the major roads. And there's more to come. Amber will have more information a little later. But first, here's Sophie Upcroft with the latest from the Botanic Gardens.
Wild storms are this afternoon lashing the coast of New South Wales. The brunt was felt here in the city at around 1 o'clock. Tourists and workers around the Opera House and in the Botanic Gardens running for cover. A large fig tree in the Botanic Gardens was struck by lightning. 4 people underneath were injured. A man and a woman in their 30s, a 19-year-old male and a 20-year-old woman who suffered burns to her shoulder. Some of the patients also reported a brief loss of consciousness. Tourists who were in the area at the time say they saw intense lightning pierce through the skyline as rain poured sideways.
We just managed to get off the River Cat and then it started.
It was very scary, you know. There was a lot of tourists that were running for cover when the lightning hit.
The SES has warned of possible flash flooding with isolated downpours of 50 to 100 millimetres expected to continue throughout the afternoon.
Asbestos case numbers are growing by the day, with 7 more sites identified. There are now 7 schools on the list of 41 contaminated sites, the latest Domremy College at 5 Dock. There are still more schools awaiting test results. If positive, it's hoped the areas can simply be cordoned off so students can continue their classes as usual.
We will only close schools if there's no other way to keep children away from the contaminated area, because safety is number one.
Hundreds of tests have been carried out since the crisis began last month. With more results yet to come in, we can expect to see more contaminated sites. Well, the Albanese government is pushing back against claims they've dropped the ball on border security as the political fallout over an asylum seeker boat that arrived last week persists. Live to political reporter Amanda, these men have been taken offshore. What happens now?
Mark, around 40 men who arrived near Broome in Western Australia on Friday have been flown to the Pacific island nation of Nauru, which is where Australia has our offshore processing facilities. But while the men have left Australia, the political headache hasn't gone away. The Prime Minister is in WA today and has rejected criticism from the opposition about border security. Opposition leader Peter Dutton notes that according to a Home Affairs report, aerial and ocean patrolling of the borders has gone down slightly since Labor was elected. Roger Cook, the Premier of WA, also weighed in, saying while he thinks the Albanese government is broadly doing a good job, his state needs more support.
We need to have a greater presence on those coastlines. It's a vast coastline, and as a result of that, there are vulnerabilities.
It's clear that they don't have the same surveillance in place that we had when we were in government. It's inconceivable that a boat of this size, carrying 40-plus people, could make it to the mainland without there being any detection.
They will not be settled here in Australia. We have clear positions in place, we'll continue to do so. Peter Dutton will continue to be a cheer squad for things that actually undermine our borders.
However, there's been no explanation from the Prime Minister as to how this boat actually slipped through. He's fallen back on an old cover that the Coalition used to use, saying he won't be talking about operational matters. Mark?
Amanda, thank you. Well, the Prime Minister says common sense should apply when it comes to drinking alcohol at Parliament House. His comments come after Nationals Deputy Leader Perrin Davey admitted to drinking and later slurring her speech in a Senate hearing last week.
Well, there is no alcohol in my office. There are events in Parliament House. A bit of common sense should apply. People are adults and they should behave responsibly.
Party leader David Littleproud has defended Ms Davies, saying she wasn't drunk and shouldn't be punished. Well, Star Casino entered a trading halt today amid reports it's about to undergo a second inquiry. The company was first investigated in 2022. A damning report finding it was unsuitable to hold a casino licence, citing evidence of money laundering and fraud. Sydney Swifties, are you ready? Taylor Swift has officially landed in the big smoke after 3 mega back-to-back shows in front of more than 280,000 Melbourne fans. Heavy rain and battering winds not deterring the superstar from embarking on the second leg of her Eras tour in Australia. The first of Swift's 4 Sydney shows will kick off from Friday night at Accor Stadium. Although getting more elaborate and trickier to catch. Coming up, how to protect yourself from sophisticated scams and what to do if you get caught out. A Melbourne Cup winning racehorse dies unexpectedly. Its trainer pays tribute. And banned from multiple shopping centres and facing court, the man accused of keying multiple luxury cars over 2 months.
Over 2 huge nights, 3 new weddings.
You've met the king of the jungle.
Clear the aisle for love.
I'd say I was kind, compassionate and gorgeous, but that's just scratching the surface.
I am a psychic medium.
The new weddings.
I accept you and I love you.
Will sweep Australia away.
Georgia!
Tonight, 7:30 on 9. And the experiment.
It's degrading.
Is about
I'm not talking to you, Lauren.
to be rocked.
There's things you can't say.
Is a little drip ruining your day? MegaSealed provides cost-effective solutions to repair your leaking shower without removing tiles and ready to use the very next day. Call MegaSealed now for a free quote.
New to Sydney Breakfast, Mick and MG on Triple M.
What part of Mick always marries, Councillor? Do you not understand? I deliberate on bad issues. It's not quite the best day of my life. I'm the right person to do this. That's damn you would have bounced back and in the face. See you down the gym.
Triple M.
Play for Oz. The next world champ. Dunk like a beast.
Hope you've had your Wheat Bix.
Also available in Wheat Bix Bites. Try them today.
¿Vos de qué parte sos?
Yo de aquí.
Ah, mira.
That didn't make sense. But this does. No Pong, all natural deodorant. Feel fresh all day.
Want 100% Australian owned energy? Well, the power to switch is in your hands. Red Energy, 100% Australian electricity and gas.
Where some see a routine zucchini, at Yumi's, we see beautiful bites. From farm to you, we transform ordinary into extraordinary. Yumi's, real delicious.
Get ready for a new week of wows.
Wow. Don't miss it.
More drama.
Not that easy, is it?
Temptation.
You can risk losing it all. Come on, let's do it.
Cash in on the excitement. Tonight at 5 on Tipping Point.
Banks are taking a hard line against fraud victims, slashing reimbursements for customers caught out by scammers and shifting blame back onto unsuspecting victims. Most recently, a 71-year-old war veteran had his life savings cleared out in an elaborate con. Now he's fighting to get his money back.
Extremely convincing. He knew the banking system back to front. He spoke in I'd say a posh, like English accent. I felt like I'd my heart had been ripped out and my stomach had been ripped out.
For more, we're joined by Stan Gallo, an expert in tracking down cyber criminals. Stan, good to have you with us. Shane Arnold was scammed by a teenager. What are the most common types of scams you're seeing people getting ripped off right now?
Yes, look, there's still a range of types of scams and ultimately investment scams, property scams, anything to do with separating the money, romance, etc., are still very, very common.
If you are caught out, what is the best way to handle fighting a case?
You need to contact the banking institution immediately. Of course, proactive steps are always going to be better than trying to react and respond. But immediately contact the banks. If there's an organisation, a reputable organisation involved, contact them as well and try and put a stop on any transactions. Of course, often it's far too late when we're talking about electronic transactions.
Just quickly, if the banks are cracking down, taking a hard line against fraud victims and slashing reimbursements, do you think that's fair?
It's been a standard practice for many years that the banks seem to have taken an approach of refunding defrauded victims, but more recently, where the victim has initiated the transaction, there's an increasing move, as you've noted, to put the responsibility for that back on the person because they initiated or approved the transaction. I think the sheer cost and volume of scams is such that businesses in general, and the banks as big as they are finding that a greater and greater cost that they can't just absorb anymore.
Do you think the laws protecting victims need to be improved?
I do. I think that the difficulty with laws when you're talking about scams is jurisdictional issues. So Australia can make laws for here, but they're not going to impact a scammer who's located in a foreign country. And tracking down the scams is a difficult exercise at best. So there needs to be multi-jurisdiction and international cooperation to support those laws. And unfortunately, the process of legislation is much, much slower than the evolution of the scams themselves.
Yeah, indeed. Stan, you touched on it a minute ago. The banks are clearly overloaded with cases. How long is the wait to get an answer?
It can be difficult. If you're a single scam victim, then you can get in touch with the banks much quicker. But where we see a range of people, there's been a couple of recent matters where thousands of people have been scammed through an actual credential stuffing or something like that, and they're all trying to get onto the relevant bank or organisation at once. And that's where we strike real problems because you can be waiting hours on end. And of course, every minute counts when you're trying to prevent a transaction that's gone through.
Are some banks better than others for dealing with fraud?
There are some that are more attuned to the online banking environment. And more recently, it's great to see that the banks have finally started to incorporate the name of the account, which they didn't used to do. And they warned you that there was no name checking, only the BSB and account number, whereas now they actually check that the name that you put in is at least similar to the actual person's account. So there are movements in the banking industry, and those that are online tend to be a faster reactor.
It's such a minefield still, Stan, and so many elderly too are getting tripped up by this, but great to get your insights today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, let's go back to that storm that's hit parts of the city. The sun is breaking through those clouds still hanging over the harbour. Looking at it now, you wouldn't know that it was copping heavy rainfall and lightning just a few hours ago. Right now, it's 20 degrees in the city and at the airport where it's very slowly starting to get through the backlog of flights. 28 mils of rain fell there today. And it will be wet again tomorrow. A 90% chance of rain for Sydney with a top of 27. Up to 20 mils expected. Wet also in Brisbane and Canberra. Cloud cover expected in Melbourne and Hobart and Adelaide. It's sunny in Perth and another hot one, but slightly cooler than it's been. A wet 32 degrees in Darwin. And Amber will be here a little later with your full weather forecast. Well, still to come, the man in the mankini. Equestrian Shane Rose speaks about his cheeky stunt that's seen him stood down from competition. Plus a crackdown on jet ski hoons, the no-tolerance approach after a spate of dangerous incidents. And in sport, the NRL's Las Vegas adventure has taken flight with the Rabbitohs on their way to the US.
This is Sandrine, friend, sister and loving mother. 12 years ago, she vanished in a gripping investigation.
We were everything to her. Mum would never leave us.
We examine the case like never before.
This was not suicide.
And ask,
if Sandrine is dead,
where is her body?
Who's been using her social media account?
The Vanishing of Sandrine. Wednesday after Married on 9.
Hi, I'm Nat from O'Brien. I get asked all the time, should I worry about this chip? Yeah, you should. Look, this crack started as a chip. And this one too. It happens a lot. At O'Brien, we replace thousands of windscreens, but a chip repair is faster, cheaper and greener. We use our exclusive resin, cure it, nice polish, saving you the cost of a new windscreen. And with car insurance, your chip repair is usually free. For over 100 years, O'Brien has been here for you. So you know you're in expert hands. Book today.
Let your curiosity be your compass as you sail in comfort on board Viking's award-winning small ships. With no kids and no casinos, only 930 guests and Viking's all-inclusive value, it's time to embrace your true explorer spirit.
Viking's Explorer sale now on. For a limited time, receive up to $3,000 flight credit per couple on ocean voyages. Call 138747 or visit your Viking agent.
We know you've always worked hard for your money. In these uncertain economic times, who do you trust to protect your wealth? Invest with La Trobe Financial, Australia's leading alternative asset manager, returning a current variable rate of 6.65% per annum, reviewed monthly on a 12-month investment. Trusted by Australians for 7 decades.
Renovate now with Amber's huge taps, tiles and more sale. Take up to 20% off leading bathware, pavers and cladding and up to 30% off indoor tiles. Available online and in store.
Amber has the answer.
Why do I like Tip Top the One?
It's like a soft cloud in my hand that feels really fluffy.
It's high in fibre with protein, vitamins, minerals, so they can...
a performance that truly matters. For each and every one of us. This is what you've been waiting for. Shen Yun. Coming to Capitol Theatre, March 8th through the 17th. Tickets at shenyun.com.
Step One and Surf Lifesaving Australia have partnered to make these. A donation is made from every pair sold to help keep our beaches safer.
He's drowning! Swim between the flags, bro! Step one, get some!
This summer, Drumstick is teaming up with Clean Up Australia to clean up here and here. So it doesn't end up here. Together, let's clean up our backyard.
An inquiry is underway after an Australian equestrian star wore an orange mankini during a show jumping event in New South Wales. Shane Rose's chances of attending his 4th Olympics now at stake after someone took offence to the stunt. Damien Ryan has more.
Shane Rose, 50 years old, he's won 3 Olympic medals and looking for a 4th Games in Paris. But those plans have suddenly hit a hurdle after a fancy dress outfit upset a member of the equestrian elite. Rose jumped on his trusty steed in a mankini, swimming attire made infamous by Borat. Obviously not the most comfortable outfit, as he and other show jumpers dressed up for a bit of fun before a competition on the weekend in the Southern Highlands. A spectator in the crowd took offence to his swimsuit and lodged an official complaint with Equestrian Australia. As a result, he's been stood down from future competitions to allow an inquiry. Of course, the worst case scenario could see him barred from a fourth Olympics. You'd have to hope that could not happen. In the meantime, Shane has apologised for any offence caused and is waiting for this investigation to play out.
I didn't think I was rolling the dice. I thought we were just having a bit of fun and a bit of Aussie humour of dressing up as in a mankini. I couldn't have imagined beyond my wildest dreams that it would have got the media presence that it has. It's gone global, which is unbelievable. If I've overstepped the mark, I'm sorry for that.
The mankini-wearing show jumping champion is attracting headlines right around the world. As for Shane, he's promised to bin the swimsuit and will be back jumping back into his jodhpurs.
Well, no jail for the driver of a stolen car who was high on ice when he crashed into oncoming traffic on the Harbour Bridge in March 2022. Today, the 21-year-old was sentenced. Christopher Walker will serve 2 years and 9 months community service. Well, Melbourne Cup winning racehorse Very Elegant has died while giving birth to a foal in France. The star horse moved to France in 2022 to continue her racing career, but was instead retired later that year to become a broodmare. Trainer Chris Waller led tributes, revealing she suffered complications during the birth. Her foal also died. Well, Christmas has come 10 months early for the Rabbitohs, the majority of the team, beginning their journey from Australia to America ahead of the NRL's historic season opener.
Got up this morning buzzing, bouncing around the place, and Benny Hornby thinks I'm peaking too early, but yeah, it's like Santa Claus is coming today, so yeah, we're all pretty pumped.
South Sydney will spend a week training in San Diego before heading to Las Vegas for the doubleheader on March 3. Well, Roosters recruit Spencer Leniu is slowly settling into life at Sydney's eastern suburbs after moving over from Penrith during the off-season. However, his former Panthers teammates are still getting used to him wearing a red, white and blue jersey.
Yeah, the boys are straight into me. As soon as I got to my phone, we have a little group chat, and yeah, they were just saying it looks so weird and all this kind of stuff, and they came to rip my head off when we play against each other. But those boys there will be my brothers for life, and but when it comes to the game, it will be war.
The Roosters and Panthers will face off in round 4. Well, Rugby Australia has officially unveiled Jo Yap as the Wallaroos' new full-time coach. The 44-year-old becoming the first female to lead the national side and has outlined her plan for the team.
The initial vision is to be a top 4 side, to close that gap on the likes of England and New Zealand, and to be a top 4 team consistently, because we've not broken into the top 4 before.
Yap brings a wealth of knowledge, having represented England on 70 occasions and captained the Red Roses to the 2006 Rugby World Cup final. Well, David Warner isn't expecting a friendly farewell on his final tour of New Zealand. The retiring opener hasn't forgotten what happened the last time he played a test series across the Tasman in 2016.
Yeah, they got personal, but if they have to get personal, that's their character. It's not. I just go about my business, but that's upon each individual. If that's what they feel like they have to do, then so be it. If you want to pay your money to come and abuse people, then you have to go back and lay in your own bed.
Warner will play his final 3 games in the T20 series, which starts on Wednesday. Well, Australia has picked up 2 gold medals on the final night of the World Aquatic Championships in Doha. 20-year-old Isaac Cooper winning the men's 50 metres backstroke final, as well as our women's medley relay team. It means the Dolphins will come home with a stellar 16-medal haul. Alex de Minaur has fallen short of his first title of 2024, beaten by Yannick Sinner in the Rotterdam Open final. The Demon put up a fight against the Australian Open champion, but eventually lost to the match in straight sets. Despite the result, de Minaur moves up to a career-high ranking of world number 9. Manchester United has solidified 5th spot on the Premier League ladder with a 2-1 win over a spirited Luton Town. There was a very special Red Devils fan in attendance. Harry Styles spotted shaking hands with Hatters legend Mick Harford. Meanwhile, Brighton's 5-0 rout at Bramall Lane keeps Sheffield United firmly in the relegation zone. Well, Tipping Point is next for viewers in southern New South Wales, followed by Win Local News at 5:30 and 9 News with Peter Overton at 6. For everyone else, Multiple people struck by lightning and damage to Sydney Airport runway. The latest on the powerful storm that's caused chaos right across the city. Schools scramble to make other plans as more are caught up in the asbestos saga across Sydney. Plus, the only survivor of a deadly mushroom lunch breaks his silence in an emotional address to his church. And swift landing superstar Taylor Swift shakes off the storm, touching down during Sydney's wild weather ahead of her sellout shows.
I just broke down in the shower because I think I've just been trying to hold it together and I just can't.
They've tried everything.
I don't know what we're going to do if it's not good news.
Now
I'm taking over your uterus.
will love
The IVF process can be full of so much heartbreak.
and determination
I finally am allowing myself to hope again.
bring their dream to life.
I've got your results.
Big miracles tonight after Married on 9 and 9 Now.
You want a bite? I said, are you all right?
Whatever's on your mind, devour it. Wild Bean Cafe at BP.
Watch out! When foot attacks, strike back the easy way. Dynamo Professional. Its deep clean technology removes tough stains deep in the fibre. For superior stain removal the first time, Dynamo Professional.
Milo cereal. Crunch it up, slurp it up, mix it up.
This is Australia's journey to a renewable future. Right now, a blend of renewables, coal and gas is providing you with more reliable and affordable energy. At Alinta Energy, we want to leave coal and gas behind as soon as possible, which is why we're working on $10 billion worth of new Australian renewables, like the Oven Mountain Pumped Hydro project. Meanwhile, we'll always be honest about how we get to net zero, because that's true power. Alinta Energy.
Before little Archie came along, Aware Super gave Murray and his partner some helpful advice to help grow their super for tomorrow. So now they can sleep easy, knowing their super is growing well, like the cutest member of their family.
I'm here to help you say you'll find your way around a little help today, and we can go so far.
With super advice and super returns, Aware Super is super helpful.
Hurt can happen here, here, and here. If you've been injured in a public place, take the Slater & Gordon free claim check, and we'll take it from here.
With Superloop's Lightspeed plan, you get 1 gigabit per second speeds for only $99 a month, which is great because when internet is everything, you can't afford to lag. Lag less with Lightspeed. See website for full T's and C's.
Safety within budget at Bob Jane T-Marts. Buy 3, we'll give you the 4th absolutely free on top brand passenger, performance and SUV tyres. Plus up to $200 instant cashback on selected tyres.
There are long delays coming in and out of Sydney Airport this afternoon after the main runway was hit by lightning. 9's Zara James is there. Zara, how are things looking?
Attention, please. Good afternoon, Mark. Well, the main runway here at Sydney Airport was closed for a period of time this afternoon after it was struck by lightning, causing a hole in the runway. Crews at Sydney Airport were able to patch up this runway within about 20 minutes before it was reopened again to aircraft. But it really was due to the storm that Sydney Airport is experiencing delays today. There are multiple passengers here who have been told that their flights have either been delayed or cancelled. Some of these delays, we're told by Sydney Airport, are up to 65 minutes for both arrivals and departures. The advice for from Sydney Airport is to check with your individual airline about the status of your own flight.
I've just got to the airport trying to get home back to Adelaide and it's been cancelled. So I'm a bit frustrated because my husband's on Jetstar. We just got 2 different flights for this trip and his is not cancelled but 20 minutes apart from each other. So yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is, but we've been told if we don't have insurance then we've got to sort out our own accommodation. So it's me and the baby stuck here and Dad going home in about an hour.
Now, Mark, figures just in 75,000 lightning strikes have hit the Sydney region during this storm between the hours of 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock this afternoon. One of those lightning strikes hitting a tree in the Botanical Gardens. 4 people were sheltering from this storm underneath that tree at the time, and all 4 of those people have been taken to hospital in stable conditions, suffering some burns. Now, we have had 28 millimetres of rainfall here at Sydney Airport. There has been 30 millimetres of rainfall in parts of our western suburbs today, and we will have full coverage of every update around this storm at 6 o'clock tonight, Mark.
Zara, thank you. Well, the asbestos crisis in Sydney is escalating, with more sites testing positive for the potentially deadly substance. Liz Daniels reports the problem may be far from over, as more results are yet to come in.
As testing continues, another 7 sites have been identified as having this contaminated mulch laid, and they include a school. Domremy College in Five Dock is still open today with the area cordoned off. Riverston Sports Centre and a pathway at Talopia being developed as part of the Parramatta Light Rail project are also on this list of new sites, which takes the current total of positive tests to 41 sites. One of the biggest remediation operations underway right now is at Liverpool West Public School. It's been closed for a week now, with students learning from home. Today, they started in temporary classrooms at the nearby Goulyangarry Public School, but parents said drop-off was a little tough.
It's too far for us, so it became very confusing. It was easy for us, closer from home, the West Public School, but we have to catch a bus and public transport and everything is, it's tough. Hopefully everything will be okay.
There are still another 3 schools awaiting test results, including here at Edmondson Park Public. But the Education Minister says she's hoping to be able to keep operations as normal as possible for as many students as possible.
We're working very diligently to ensure that every school we identify that may have used anything that came from a company along the supply chain is tested. As those tests come back, if they are positive and the site can be cordoned off, then we really want children to remain at school.
Now, over the weekend, there were more than 100 sites tested, and this afternoon we're told that as those results come in, we should expect to see more positive sites.
2 accused killers have laughed through the first day of their trial over the bashing murder of a 16-year-old boy at Doonside. Chief Court reporter Tiff Genders has the details.
It's been 2.5 years since Rachel Galligan lost her son Jason, the mother breaking down in court today while witnessing 2 of his alleged killers smile and smirk as they sat side by side in the dock. Kayla Dawson and Richard Sione are among 11 charged over the 2021 bashing of the 16-year-old. Both have pleaded not guilty to murder. Dawson is accused of luring the schoolboy to her Doonside home over the mistaken belief he'd stolen her Apple AirPods, while Sione is alleged to have led the first 10 minutes of the brutal beating before telling others to finish him off. Jason died in hospital 2 days after being punched, kicked and stomped on more than 100 times. Dawson originally told police and 9 News that 2 men had chased the teen inside and assaulted him before fleeing.
It was pretty violent.
Were there multiple people involved?
There was only 2 people.
Were they going at it?
Yeah, they were.
She's now accepted that was a lie, which according to the Crown shows a consciousness of guilt. Dawson's defence is that she suffers from a substantial impairment and was acting under duress.
Pastor Ian Wilkinson, the sole survivor of the deadly mushroom lunch in Victoria, has spoken publicly for the first time. Details from Gillian Lantouris, who has the details.
It's been 6 months since Ian Wilkinson consumed a beef Wellington dish allegedly laced with toxic mushrooms here at this Leongatha home that claimed the life of 3 people, including his wife, Heather. Last Sunday, the pastor finally broke his silence, addressing his congregation at the Currumborough Baptist Church in regional Victoria for one of the first times since he was discharged from hospital in September.
Let me encourage you to keep on going. The way is sometimes hard, but God is good.
The now 70-year-old became emotional as he honoured his late wife, Heather.
Yesterday was our 45th wedding anniversary. At the start of the week was 6 months since Heather and Gail and Don went to be with the Lord.
He even drew laughter from the crowd.
Does anybody remember our series on Genesis that we began last year? It was dramatically cut short halfway through Genesis chapter 2.
Cut short after he, his wife, along with Don and Gail Patterson, ate a beef Wellington dish suspected to be laced with toxic mushrooms in late July, allegedly served by Erin Patterson, the estranged wife of Don and Gail's son, Simon. The mother of 2 was arrested and charged with 3 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder. The mother of 2 maintains her innocence and says she is grieving too. Miss Patterson has spent nearly 4 months behind bars and will face court in May.
A man has fronted court after allegedly keying several luxury vehicles across Sydney's northwest. Erin Ramsey has the details.
Nathan Abella has been banned from 3 shopping centres after he allegedly keyed 6 vehicles parked in car parks at Rouse Hill, Box Hill and Schofields, causing $10,000 worth of damage. The 34-year-old denied he had anything to do with damaging the 6 cars when he left Amber Laurel Correctional Facility at Emu Plains today.
The circumstances as to how they became keyed, but Jesus Christ, all day it's hot, I'm walking, I'm a little overweight, one thing leads to another.
The Blacktown man is accused of damaging 6 vehicles parked at shopping centres, including 3 Teslas, an Audi, a Mercedes and a Volkswagen Golf over the past 2 months. Sensor cameras inside a parked Tesla automatically captured the moment he allegedly dragged a sharp object along the side of the vehicle. Police were called to a Schofield shopping centre last night where they arrested Abella. He allegedly had a bladed metal tool in his possession. Abella has a YouTube channel where he regularly posts videos of rants and workout tips, including a video posted just hours before his arrest.
90 degrees, and you just bounce. Or you do it with one leg and bounce.
A court also heard that Nathan has been living on the streets, and part of his strict bail conditions, he must now return home to his mother's house in Blacktown.
Swifties are getting ready to live out their wildest dreams ahead of the second leg of Taylor Swift's Eras tour. The superstar touching down in Sydney on a gloomy day, but bringing the sunshine for many excited fans. Live to Lizzie Pearl, who's at Sydney's Crown Casino. Lizzie, when will Tay-Tay take to the stage?
Well, Mark, not until Friday. So if you are a Taylor Swift fan, it's going to be a very long week indeed as you wait for that big night to arrive. But look, Taylor Swift, she's left from what you could only describe as a mega round of shows in Melbourne. She took to her private jet this morning under sunny skies, wearing a red top and a Super Bowl champion's cap for anyone with those eagle-eyed fans wondering what she was wearing. But look, she set off from Melbourne, and look, Sydney, well, we didn't have the best welcome for her, did we? Her jet was delayed by about 20 minutes while they tried to avoid that huge thunderstorm that was hovering over Sydney just as Taylor Swift's jet landed. But she did land. Shortly after that, well, she was whisked away in her entourage straight from the airport and straight here to Crown at Barangaroo, where the convoy went down into an underground car park. So look, Taylor Swift has a couple of days here in Sydney, 4 days in fact, to fill before those big shows. So the question is, what will Taylor be doing and who will she be with? We do think there has been a pretty big hint from her boyfriend, NFL star Travis Kelce, that he may in fact be joining her here in Australia. Last week on a podcast, he said to his brother that he was heading to an island down south. Now, Australia is an island. We are down south. So not only are we looking out for Taylor Swift, we're also looking out for Travis Kelce. Until then, all the preparations at Accor Stadium are going ahead. This morning, our chopper was up as the flooring was laid there on the stadium, ready for tens of thousands of fans to pour in before 4 shows, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. At the moment, you'd have to say, not the greatest weather we are turning on for Taylor Swift, but if she does venture outside, if she does put her raincoat and her gumboots on and she does get a bit wet, well, you know what she's going to have to do, Mark? Like the rest of us, she's just going to have to shake it off.
Nice gag, Lizzie. Well done. We liked it. Oh, coming up, 100 new preschools to be built across the state. We'll tell you where. Plus, award season continues. All the winners and losers from the BAFTA Awards. And a blessing of a different kind. Whitest cow took a trip to the Vatican.
Succession.
I'm Jackson. I'm Jackson Packer.
Heir to the pack of fortune.
Tell me a secret.
Well,
14. Determined to be his own man.
I want to have an impact on people's lives.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, shucks.
A current affair tonight.
Wait time 46 minutes. You are the 4th person in the queue. You are the 5th person in the queue.
When your internet gives you
You are the
lemons,
shortest person in the queue. You are the worst person in the queue.
get Tangerine.
Shush! Hey, leave my house alone. Stop it! You're being naughty.
ING Mortgage Simplifier. A little less fuss so you can do your thing.
This is great.
Be summer ready. Get free polarised lenses in your second pair. Save $100. Should have gone to Specsavers. Hurry, offer ends February 28th. Conditions apply.
Get ready to make your move at TAFE New South Wales. Whether it's a move into your first career, a move into something new, a move up, or moving with the times, we've got hundreds of courses to choose from. Enrol now for 2024. Search TAFE New South Wales.
Moving home? Move with Energy Australia and get up to $100 in move-in credits off your first bill. That's right, $50 for electricity and $50 for gas. Now that's a good move. Join today at energyaustralia.com.au or call 139 192.
What do you think? Thanks, Mum.
There are oh so many reasons to choose Toyota, like Toyota Genuine Accessories.
Toyota.
Beware bargain insurance regret, Jeanette. Next time, go with Amy instead. Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does.
It's a footy fan's dream.
Last season was simply the best. In 2024, we're turning it up.
He's the fastest man on the planet.
This is where legends
Captain Courageous and all.
bring you the best games every round. We're ready to get stuck in and turn it up.
The entertainers are back.
Live and free on 9 and 9 Now.
Returning to our breaking news story this afternoon, wild storms moving across Sydney over the past couple of hours. To get an update on the sort of damage and destruction that has happened, we bring in Chief Superintendent Dallas Burns from the State Emergency Service. Dallas, thank you for your time. No doubt, very busy afternoon for you. What can you tell us?
Absolutely. Very busy afternoon for our staff and our volunteers. Over 260 jobs, around 170 of those in metropolitan Sydney. Earlier today we had a lot of work up in the Hunter, Newcastle and mid-north coast areas, and then after lunch that focus became the Hills District and metropolitan Sydney.
7 flood rescues. That some of those were assisted with our partner agencies, Fire and Rescue New South Wales and Ambulance New South Wales, and over 42 flooding related incidents as well. It's been a very busy afternoon and it doesn't look like it's going to stop with that rain really settled in the basin at the moment.
Dallas, you said flood rescues. That's quite serious.
Yeah, we had a number of vehicles get stuck in fast rising waters. I don't believe they're incidents where people have driven deliberately into flood waters. It's more they've been stuck in heavy traffic at the wrong place and water has risen up around those vehicles. We had a multi-car flood rescue situation at Miranda earlier today, and also flood rescues from vehicles at Penrith and Malabar.
Many people are now starting to head home from work, of course. What advice do you have for them?
Oh, look, really check the routes you're going to be going home on. If you can delay travelling by an hour, it might be a really good idea to do so. We're aware that Tarrant Point Road heading south out of the city is blocked at the moment with some flooding, and there's also some other localised flash flooding in the area. So please go to the live traffic app, have a look at what route you're planning, just not just your destination and where you are at the moment, but those roads that you'll be moving across, and have a look at the safest way to get home. Take your time, don't rush, make sure you get home.
Dallas, thank you for giving us your time, and good luck for the rest of the day. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Well, there's good news on plans for much needed preschools across the state, with the government taking a new approach. More from Vicky Jardim.
It's a move to boost the number of preschools in areas most in need. The New South Wales government today announcing the sites of 100 new preschools within the state. They'll be built within existing public schools and will be free for families.
We are announcing the biggest ever investment in New South Wales history in public preschools. If we can get that wonderful, expert, play-based learning for our children the year before school, it makes all the difference to their education.
$769 million will be set aside to build the preschools. Of the 100, 49 will be in regional areas, while 51 will be spread across Western Sydney, Southwest Sydney and the Northwest. The aim being to help children settle into kindergarten easily.
We did undertake a very rigorous assessment that included looking at the socio-economic status of each community, looking at the developmental needs of children and looking at supply and demand.
Construction has already begun on some of the preschools. The government has pledged to build all 100 by Term 1, 2027.
King Charles has been spotted attending Sunday church in the royal estate of Sandringham, nearly 2 weeks into his treatment for cancer. The monarch and Queen Camilla smiling and waving from under their umbrellas as they got caught in a heavy downpour. Well, the Aussies have missed out on major movie gongs again, this time at the BAFTAs, trumped by Oppenheimer. Here's Europe correspondent Brett McLeod.
Certainly a star-studded lineup on the red carpet for the BAFTAs this year, including Hollywood royalty, a lot of famous British actors and performers, and a number of Australians as well, including Margot Robbie, nominated for Best Actress for her role in Barbie, as well as producer of that film. Very excited to talk about the success of that film and what it's meant globally.
It's created this real sense of community with anyone else who's seen it. People who've seen it, and anyone wearing pink now seems connected just through the colour alone. So it's been so amazing just to kind of spread that joy and connection everywhere.
When the ceremony got underway, hosted by Doctor Who, David Tennant, all eyes were on the most nominated film, which was Oppenheimer. 13 nominations, and it really did scoop the pool. First off was Best Supporting Actor, Robert Downey Jr., 31 years after his previous BAFTA. Best Actor went to a clearly delighted Cillian Murphy, and after 5 nominations, Christopher Nolan took out Best Director.
It suddenly occurs to me that my younger brother beat me up here by about 40 years, not because he's yet won a BAFTA, but because he was part of the Snowflake Chorus in the Nutcracker here many years ago.
Emma Stone took out the award for Best Actress for her role in Poor Things. It also got a number of other technical awards as well. And one of the most moving moments of the night was when Michael J. Fox came onto stage, receiving a standing ovation before he presented the best film. And it wasn't a surprise who that went to.
And the BAFTA goes to, oh, I can read it, Oppenheimer.
So Oppenheimer, the big success story here at the BAFTAs, and maybe a precursor as to what's to come at the Oscars.
Well, farmers in Italy have brought a cow to Mass at the Vatican amid agricultural protests across Europe. The bovine joined thousands of worshippers in St Peter's Square for the Mass gathering led by Pope Francis. Italian farmers saying the blessings from the pontiff would give them strength to tackle industry issues, including dwindling pay and rising costs. Stay with us, your weather forecast is next, but first, a look at what's happening in tonight's news at 6.
Thank you, Mark. Tonight on the news, a psychology session with an AI chatbot. How artificial intelligence is giving people help. Plus, Sydney running out of warehouse space. Why it means your online shopping could cost you more. I'll see you soon.
Who designs the back
Riding in
seats
a
of
ute
utes?
is as uncomfortable as a visit from my mother-in-law.
Alex_Reed, you said riding in utes is as uncomfortable as a visit from your mother-in-law.
Well, this one's very comfortable, Alexander.
Satay dinner or taco time?
Yeah.
Made with 100% Aussie RSPCA approved chicken thigh fillets, large pack, down to just $12.50. Our lowest price in 18 months at Coles.
Save with super product deals in the latest Super Cheap Auto catalogue, like 50% off selected engine oils and SCA Automotive and four-wheel drive batteries 20% off. Make it super cheap auto.
At Amplifon, we believe in personalisation.
Hi, Gary.
If I'm watching TV, I'll miss my phone or the doorbell ring.
I can set you up so you can receive calls right into your hearing aid. You can even connect them to a TV and doorbell with Bluetooth.
Now I've heard everything. I'll get it.
Now I've heard everything.
Tell us about your lifestyle and we'll customise a solution just for you. Book and attend an appointment before 29 February and enjoy our exclusive promotions in clinic. I'm cutting my hair for blood cancer.
Safety within budget. That's our promise at Bob Jane T-Marts. Buy 3, we'll give you the 4th absolutely free on top brand passenger, performance and SUV tyres. Plus, up to $200 instant cashback on selected tyres. Alloy wheels from only $125 and tyres from just $69. We won't be beaten with our best tyre price guarantee. Give us a call or shop online today. At Bob Jane T-Marts, we'll look after you.
Turn Tuesday into Taco Tuesday. Old El Paso, make some noise.
Allergies? I have heaps. Homework, ballet, doing the dishes.
Telfast gives fast, long-lasting relief from year-round allergies, so kids can do what they love. And the dishes.
This weather report brought to you by Telfast. Don't delay. Keep sneezing at bay. Nothing beats Telfast. Now available at Chemist Warehouse.
Before we check the weather, we have a breaking update. Australian equestrian star Shane Rose has been cleared over his mankini mishap. An inquiry today finding the gold medalist didn't breach any codes when he chose a risque outfit during a fancy dress horse riding event. He is still eligible to compete at the Paris Olympics. Here's Amber.
Thanks, Mark, and good afternoon. Well, we have been hit with rain and storms right across the Sydney Basin, with nearly 70,000 lightning strikes within a 50-kilometre radius since midday. The severe storm warning has now been cancelled for Sydney, but it remains west of the ranges. The heaviest rain has been around Little Bay and Kings Langley, picking up more than 50 millimetres, 35 millimetres falling in Belrose, more than 20 millimetres in Wahroonga, Seven Hills, Canterbury and the airport. Temperatures have been in the mid to high 20s with humidity around 80% for most of the day. If we can go to the next graphic, there is a storm warning right now across the areas you can see here in blue. There we go, including central and northern tablelands, as well as parts of the Hunter, the southern tablelands and the north and southwest. Now, so far, we've seen 35 millimetres fall in Manila in just 30 minutes, with more than 20 millimetres of rain in Taree, Gosford and Inverell. Temperatures cooler along the coast, only reaching 22 in Batemans Bay and Bega today, 23 in Newcastle, while Western New South Wales has still seen tops in the mid to high 30s, 34 in Griffith and in Wagga Wagga. Tomorrow, ex-tropical cyclone Lincoln will continue to move westward into WA's Kimberley. That will bring heavy rain. We're going to see some showery weather along the east coast as well in Brisbane and Canberra. Partly cloudy conditions in Melbourne, cloudy in Adelaide, 35, and mostly sunny in Perth with a top of 39 degrees. We are expecting light showers along the entire New South Wales coast tomorrow with possible storms as well. The heaviest rain will be around Coffs Harbour and Port Macquarie. Temperatures in the mid to high 20s along the coast, the high 20s around central New South Wales, and once again reaching the 30s right across the west. Let's take a look at Sydney, and it will be cloudy and hazy tomorrow morning, but we will see more showers and storms throughout the day. Those storms could possibly be severe with light southeasterly winds, but that weather should start to ease by tomorrow evening. The city could see 1 to 10 millimetres of rain, while the west could see up to 9 millimetres of rain. So that's a bit lighter than today. Heading for a top of 24 in Terry Hills, Cronulla, 26 in the city, Parramatta and Penrith, and 27 in Campbelltown. Let's take a quick look ahead. Wednesday and Thursday we'll see a shower or two, tops of 27 to 32 degrees. Showers increasing on Friday, bringing up to 15 millimetres of rain. Just an early shower or two on Saturday, 25, before finally finding up on Sunday, a top of 25 degrees, Mark.
Amber, thank you. And that is 9's Afternoon News. Our next bulletin is at 6 o'clock with Peter Overton. I'm Mark Burrows. Have a great evening.
Our machines' shelves are stacked with counters, and these three contenders